Now, tributes and messages of condolence have been pouring in for former Joburg Mayor Mpho Moerane. He passed away at the Milpark Hospital on Wednesday after sustaining injuries in a car crash last week. Earlier, a wreath-laying ceremony took place at the scene of the accident. Moerane's funeral will be held on Sunday. Our reporter Lindokuhle Xulu joins us now from the memorial service in Alexandra. Lindo, good to see you. Very good afternoon to you. It's very, somber the last couple of days or so. I spoke with you yesterday as well when you were at the home. So many tributes pouring in for the former mayor. I'm sure it's exactly the same today.
That's what we are expecting, Tony. It's been a very somber time, particularly for colleagues, friends, ANC members, as well as families. But what we've also seen, encouragingly, is some of the other political parties that have been sharing just how difficult this time has been, how much of a diligent leader, how much of a humble leader Mpho Moerane was. The former mayor for the city of Johannesburg was involved in a car accident, we understand, somewhere around Sentin, and that was where we, in fact, started this morning with the city of Johannesburg, just spearheading that particular program of the wreath-laying ceremony where the accident took place. But I can tell you today, while we have moved now to the Alexandra Stadium, where he in fact grew up in this particular township, where he started his activism in youth structures and moving all the way to the regional, leadership within the ANC, I can tell you that there are many people who are expecting will be sharing some of their experiences, some of their thoughts, and some of the pain that is being felt at this time when such a leader is being lost. And one of those people is the former Speaker of the city of Johannesburg, Mpho Moerane. Thank you so much, Ma, for your time. Perhaps if you can start to capture for people the type of person, the type of leader that has been lost today.
Thank you very much. It is indeed a somber moment. I am still battling to accept that Mpho Moerane is no more. As you have correctly said, Mpho Moerane is a humble leader. He was an activist of the African National Congress. I knew Mpho before he became the mayor. I knew him as an activist in Alexandra. Some of the service delivery issues were championed by him as a leader of the community in Alexandra, up until he assumed the responsibility of being a regional leader of the ANC. And after the passing of the former mayor, Jolidi Matongo, then Mpho assumed the responsibility of being a mayor. And I worked very close with him as the Speaker of Johannesburg, and he was the mayor. And I must say that he was one man who was very passionate about his people, about the well-being of the communities. So he championed, when he took over, he actually took forward the transformation agenda that was set by the previous mayors before him. And he would even invite me as a speaker. As a speaker, I'm supposed to play oversight over the executive, but he would invite me to go with him to his programs that he was doing within the communities. You would remember that he started the Cleaner Josie campaign when he was the MMC for Infrastructure Services Development Department. He started that campaign, and when he was the mayor, he continued with that campaign and many more campaigns that were taking him as a mayor to the people of Johannesburg. So he was a very accessible leader. He would attend to any issue that is raised by the communities. And even now, after the November elections, when he was given a responsibility to lead the ANC in government, he was very active. So we have lost a leader, and I have lost a brother. I have lost a friend, because to me he was more than a leader. He was more than a colleague. He was a friend. So the ANC in Greater Johannesburg has lost. The people of Johannesburg and the nation at large have lost a leader. Political parties that have interacted with Mpho Moerane in council, they have lost a leader. We've heard how the mayor, the executive mayor of Johannesburg, has expressed her pain on this loss. So we are really saddened, and it is still unbelievable.
I just want to also come in here and speak about the loss that you are speaking about, of course. The fact that one of the things I remember about Babu Moerane was when he was sworn in, he gave an emotional speech. He was in tears, taking over from Ubabu Joliti Matongo. But one of the things that was quite a concern for many people was that why is this person taking over when there's just 30 days or so that's left in office before the local government elections? And in fact, he proved it when he produced that pamphlet ever so quickly in terms of a turnaround plan for the city of Johannesburg. The president was canvassing that while he was coming for his campaign in the region of Johannesburg. But just talk to us in terms of the loss here. We know that the city of Johannesburg, like many other places, many other regions, is faced with a lot of challenges. Just looking back at the fact that he was swift in the 30 days in office to actually have a response and a plan of how he would turn around the city of Johannesburg, it speaks to the leadership that he would have provided should he have been given a chance, doesn't it?
Certainly, it speaks to the leadership that Mpho Moerane was. When he took over from Joliti Matongo, it was a very emotional moment. As you say, he cried because Joliti was a very close friend of him and a long-time friend of Moerane. And even when the ANC, I remember when the ANC suggested him to take over from Joliti Matongo, he actually didn't want to. He didn't feel like he is fit for the position, especially to take over from his own friend, and he was still mourning for Joliti. But because he was a responsible leader, he then took that responsibility. And immediately when he assumed office, he had to hit the ground running. He came with a turnaround strategy. He came with the programs that would further, like I said, transform the lives of the citizens of Johannesburg. So that's the kind of a leader that Mpho was. Yeah, he was really an activist.
You've been a speaker of the city of Johannesburg. In fact, until recently, after the local government election, obviously taking over was the coalition government. But I want to speak about the fact that as the ANC in the region of Johannesburg, you've lost so much in such a short space of time. Ubabu Jiof Makubo, Ubabu Joliti Matongo, and now Baba Mpho Moerane. In terms of moving from here, do we still the leadership that is required to take the ANC even back to governance, but also to take the ANC to what it was in terms of enjoying majority, but also serving the people of Johannesburg?
Yeah, I must say that it is painful indeed. We have lost many leaders within a short space of time. We also have other regional executive members who passed on last year within a short space of time that you are mentioning. But then we also had these three outstanding leaders who have passed on within a short space of time. Of course, the ANC is the people's movement. It is the organization that has a lot of leaders. But the fact is, one cannot replace a leader. Once we have lost a person, we have lost that person, because we have different skills as leaders. However, the ANC has produced quite a lot of leaders, and it is still producing leaders. Even today, we have young leaders that are coming into the organization that have been groomed by the organization. And these three leaders that we have counted are amongst those leaders that have been groomed by the organization. We shall indeed miss their leadership, especially because we worked very closely with them. We will really miss them. And we are requesting the citizens of Johannesburg and the nation at large to pray for us that at least it's enough now. We should not lose any more leaders. It is really enough. We have to pray, and we trust that God is going to hear our prayers.
All right. Thank you so much, former Speaker of the City of Johannesburg, Mpho Moerane, just speaking about what is lost today. She's also touching on some of the leaders that had been lost, Geoff Makubo, Joliti Matongo, as well as today Mpho Moerane, saying that they are hoping that the ANC, as it has in terms of these leaders that we speak about today, will once again produce leaders who will be able to take the ANC to its glory days in terms of governance in the region of the City of Johannesburg, but also in terms of making sure that they are the majority enough to actually take over this government. So there's certainly a loss in terms of the ANC, but I can tell you that the people at the spotlight now is the family of the former mayor, who earlier on, when they were laying some wreaths and actually taking a bow and honoring the place where he had an accident, were inconsolable. You could see their hearts are shattered at this anguishing time for the family, and those are the people that will be comforted today when it comes to this memorial service, with many of the people, including colleagues like Mpho Moerane, speaking about the type of leader and the type of person that Mpho Moerane was for the general public and population.
It can only be a difficult time for the family. Thank you so much there, Lindokuhle Xulu, reporting for us there at the memorial of former Joburg Mayor. And we'll catch up with them a little bit later on this afternoon.